Okay, so we're making a top-down raglan sweater. This is the back section, these are the two sleeve sections, and these are the two fronts. This is where we first cast on for the neck, and then we were adding stitches at each end and eventually casting on a few extra stitches, and then from then on we just did our increases on every knit row on either side of our stitch markers. And now we're ready to place the sleeves on waste yarn, and then we'll just be working from one side of the front across the back and then the other side of the front. And in order to do that, we have to knit across a row, placing the sleeve stitches on waste yarn and then casting on a few extra stitches for the underarm. So this is how that works. So we'll just knit across. This will be the left front of the baby sweater. We're viewing it from the top down. And as I approach the marker, here's where we did the increases, and the purl bump is the thing that looks like a purl bump. Here, I'll show you, are the increases. And then I get to the marker and I take it off, and then I knit this first stitch, which is the kind of the marker line for the raglan increases. So I work that stitch. Then I take my tapestry needle that has been threaded with yarn and I transfer the stitches, and the way I do it is I enter the stitch as if this were a knitting needle and I was going to purl, but I just stick it through the loop and then I slip it off the needle. So I do that all the way across until I get to the next marker. And if this gets loaded up too far, I just slide them down. Okay, so now I've got to the next marker. I take that off. And so these are the stitches, and I've got an extra long length because I'm going to just, I'm going to let the stitches be held on here. I'm going to break this one because I'm going to use the yarn again for the next sleeve. And my instructions have me cast on 5 more stitches for the underarm. And the way I'm going to do that is using a backwards loop. So if the yarn is just hanging over my index finger like this, I turn my finger toward me and I grab the loop on the back of my index finger. See how that kind of makes like a cursive letter E, and I make that nice and tight. And I want to do 5 of these. That's 2, 3, 4, and when you get your index finger ready to go again, you put it under the yarn. It's really common to want to go like this, but then it's not going to work. Your finger has to come under in order to do this. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so I've got my 5 cast on stitches, and now I'm going to work across the back stitches until I get to the next marker, and then again I will slip that marker off, knit 1 stitch, and then slip all of the sleeve stitches to the rest of that waste yarn and cast on 5 more stitches and then knit to the end of the row. And what's going to happen is then the sleeve stitches are going to just be held on this yarn right here while I knit back and forth on the stitches that I have on the needle, and then we can do the sleeves later.